Good morning, Facebook group. Good morning, business page on my Facebook. How are you this marvelous Monday? I'm very excited to be here. Today is Mom Moments Monday, and we are ready to get started with our guided study as we do each and every week until this book is completed. So let me go ahead and get started, and we will jump right in, okay? Hi, my name is Sherilyn Dorsey, and I am creator and founder of You're More Than Their Mother, and I teach entrepreneurial moms to reclaim, realign, and rebalance their lives and to go after their dreams. So I'm so excited, per usual, this Mom Moments Monday, because we are into week 7 of my awesome book here. Shameless plug, right? You're More Than Their Mother, Reclaim, Realign, and Rebalance Your Life. Listen, it's been fantastic. I've had some great feedback and commentary on what it is that you're reading, the value it is that it's providing you, and really the tool it is that you are gaining to be used right now, most immediately in your life. If you're going through something right now, you're trying to push past some obstacle that's in front of you, or if you're trying to take your life to the next level, if you're trying to start that business, or if you're trying to get unstuck, these are the fundamental pragmatic solutions it is that you need in order to do that. And I'm so excited about the breakthroughs that you are having and really how you are implementing this into your day-to-day life. So if you are watching this and you're following along, please go ahead and drop some comments and let me know how this is helping you so far. If you want to get caught up on this video series, it's very easy. Simply hashtag Mom Moments from wherever it is that you're watching. Hey there, who just joined me? I see that's Cherie. Hey, friend. But hashtag that from whatever platform it is that you are watching this, and see if it should still be up, because it will be up at least on Facebook for a limited time. I have another course on how to get started in your business, and I show you how you can use information and really recycle it, and this will be one of those things that I do that for. So this will go out at a later time, and if that's something you're interested in, you can email me later. But I want to get you set up foundationally. I want your infrastructure set up so that you can build out strong, so that you can have a sustainable business and life it is that you love. Not that this will eliminate all problems for you. Not that this will stop any obstacles from coming your way. Not that you won't fall into old habits sometime, because we do have that default pathway in our brains when certain triggers come up. However, what this will do is help you expedite through those obstacles, because this will give you a solution, a go-to manual, if you will, right? A go-to manual, if you will, to say, wait a minute, let me pause. What is it that I can do here to recalibrate and reset myself in the right direction for what it is that I want? How is it that I can release the guilt that I'm feeling around something that I know good and well is best for me, but I won't allow myself to enjoy it? I can't allow myself to take this downtime or extract myself from a situation, or my children, or my family, or my business, whatever the case may be. It really shows you how it really helps you to become even more effective and efficient at what it is that you are going after. So this is where it is, you all. And I'm so excited to have written this. I'm excited to have gotten this out of me. I'm excited that you get to have this at hand to provide you whatever help it is that you need. So we are into week 7, and week 7 for us is I think it is the 7th chapter of the book as well. However, it is on page 48, and the name of this chapter is So You Didn't Reach Your Goal, right? So tell me, have you ever set a goal that you have not reached? I already know, I'm pretty sure what this answer is, because I think that most of us, I'm going to go ahead and say all and bet on that. All of us have been there at one point or another, right? We've all been there where we've set a goal. Absolutely. We've set a goal and we didn't reach it for whatever reason, whatever the reason of that goal is, that not reaching the goal is not the problem in this instance, right? Because we have had that in our past, and yes, Cherie, I see that you chimed in, just like me. We have all missed the mark or not reached our goal before. Hey, Ariel, thanks for joining in. We've all reached that point or gotten to that point, but what we need to do is figure out how to get past that as quickly as possible in order to reach the goal, right? We want to open our mind up to the solution and not wallow in the problem. So while I'm getting myself set up here to read this excerpt from my book, tell me, have you ever not reached the goal and then you found yourself wallowing in that so-called failure or that so-called mistake? Have you ever done that? Right? So go ahead and chime in for me and let me know. Hey, Bridget, thank you for joining in. Thanks, Ariel. Alrighty, so, okay. Here, let's go here. Let's start here in the book. I want to read this excerpt. It says, and I am on page 48. So if you don't have the book, remember you can get it. I put the link in this post, but I'm going to read this excerpt here and talking about not reaching the goal. As angry as you are about not hitting your mark, that still won't change the outcome. Not only will it not change the outcome, you are actually creating physiological problems in your body that are completely avoidable, like elevated heartbeat, increased blood pressure, anxiety, etc. As moms, sometimes we can be too hard on ourselves. Is that true for you? Can you be too hard on yourself sometimes? Let me know. For some reason, we don't allow ourselves the same courtesy and forgiveness that we offer our girlfriends, family members, and our children when they make mistakes. Who do we think we are? A superhuman that transcends error? Let's stop torturing ourselves. When you begin to belittle and berate yourself, you only sink further into the emotion of failure and loss and wind up moving yourself further away from a viable solution to rectify the issue. Alrighty? So I think that's so powerful. I know I wrote it, but I'm telling you, yes, I know I wrote it, but I'm telling you, this is something that we too often are guilty on. We give everybody else all of this grace, all of this mercy when they make a mistake, when they don't reach the goal. And I know that the most immediate and enduring forgiveness that you can probably think of is with your children. If they don't reach a goal, we immediately swoop in to figure out how can we help them to come up with the solution so that they can complete the goal, right? Because we're not saying that you don't have to do it. We're not saying forget the goal, throw it out, right? We're saying you absolutely still have to complete the goal. You not completing the goal is not the end of the world, so you don't have to be hard on yourself, right? But we are saying that you now have to figure out what it is that you need to do in order to complete the goal. So we have to move forward, right? And so we give that to our children. We let them know and we set them up for that success. Or like I tell my children all the time, we set them up for the win. What I am here to challenge you to do is to do the same thing for yourself. Do you do the same thing for yourself? Do you have the same grace and mercy that you give your children, that you give your friends, that you give your significant other, your spouse, your family members? Please answer that for me in the questions on both pages, on the comment section. Do you give yourself the same grace and mercy? As you're typing that, let me reiterate the fact that when you don't do that, you cause this unnecessary physiological issues. You cause these unnecessary physiological issues that you don't have to have. How many people do you know have high blood pressure? How many people do you know? And that's not just related to eating, right? Not even a little bit. And you know, sometimes what I like to think about, just to put that on pause for a second, what I like to think about and what I'm so grateful for in these webinars it is that I set up for you on your engagement is that we say these things out loud. I know when we sit in our room, or if someone was to ask you this, probably in face-to-face conversation, and just talking, we likely would say, oh no, I don't do that, because we don't give it any deep thought. We figure, absolutely, I give myself grace. Absolutely, I don't, or no way do I cause myself on purpose stress, right? But the reality is we do. Anytime we are doing these things, anytime we're hard on ourselves like this, anytime we're not forgiving of ourselves, anytime we simply don't make a new agreement, and we are more interested in blaming and finding guilt or having guilt than we are in finding a solution. And the reality is, every time you do that to yourself, you are making an agreement that that is what you want for yourself. You want that undue stress, right? Negative stress at that, because all stress isn't bad, but you want the elevated heartbeat or high blood pressure. And wow, there's no way that we would agree to that verbally, but that's what we're doing with our actions. That is what we're doing. And I'm here to charge you to change that. I'm here to charge you to change it, right? So, okay, as I said, we've got to stop torturing ourselves, right? So let's think about this, excuse me, the benefits of what it is that we're doing for our children. And I want you to see how that transcends just this grace, or just this benefit transcends grace to just your children. Look at how it can be of good to you and in support of your goals. So when we do this for our children, right, when we go in and swoop in and help them to figure out a solution, and we show them how to make a new commitment and a new agreement, right, and we help them to change courses, we, one, validate that child's feelings, right? You are addressing the fact that there has been a breakdown between desire and the outcome. It lets the child know that you care about how they feel and the effect it had on them. So as it relates to you, when you go in and when you decide not to be hard on yourself, when you decide to forgive yourself, you right away are opening yourself up to a new solution, because you will never find the solution at the same level of the problem. So if you are wallowing in the problem, which is what I asked you about earlier, right, then there's no way that you can find a solution for it. Tell me if that makes sense for you. Hit me with some hearts and give me some feedback here. Let me know that you're following along. And let me take a sip of water. Excuse me. All right. So with that being said, the next thing it does for them is it creates a safe space. It creates a safe space for those emotions that the child will have. Because undoubtedly, and again, let's run this parallel to you. Undoubtedly, when we don't reach the goal, there is some emotion behind that. Sometimes there's disappointment with it. Sometimes there's frustration because we've set ourselves up for success, or for the win, as I like to say. Oh, good. You're with me, Shireen. We set ourselves up for this, right? Because we know we want to win. Uh-oh. I'm paused here. Let's make sure. Okay. Here we go. Okay. We know it. We know that we want to win. So we set ourselves up and we do everything that we think we can in order to win, in order to reach the goal. But for whatever reason, it failed. So there is frustration. Sometimes there is flat out anger around it, because we wanted that thing at that time so bad and it didn't happen. But when you don't wallow in it, when you just allow yourself to have the emotion, and then to transcend that, and to understand that mistakes happen, that you are not superhuman, that you deserve grace, and that everything is not going to go the way that you thought it was every time. And most importantly, when it doesn't go that way, you're creating an opportunity for yourself to learn better for the next time. You have then created a safe space for those emotions to live. You've created a safe space so that guilt does not settle in, because you understand that this is just all a part of the process. This is just all a part of how things go on your way to reaching a goal. Because remember, it's really not an end mark for us, right? It's really not it's not the end. Any goal, right? It's really just the stepping stone to the next thing. I always equate reaching a goal to climbing a mountain. When you're climbing a mountain, every single time you take a step up, you get a new vantage point. That means you can see more things. So that means when you hit that mark of the next step, you now have more options. Options that you didn't have before because you didn't know about them, right? So now that you have those options, hey, April, thanks for joining in. Now that you have those options, you can make a new decision. You can realign with your new goal it is that you have in mind. Because again, it's not over. It's absolutely not over. This is just all a part of the journey. So you have to figure out not how to eradicate any type of failure. Of course, we want to, or so-called failure, I should say. Of course, we want to reach the goal every time. But we understanding and knowing that we won't reach the goal every time we prepare and do everything it is that we could do and do our best, if you will. Because we understand that we can expedite the amount of time that we spend in anger, in frustration, in guilt, if it even comes up, because it doesn't go away right away, right? So tell me if you hear me. Tell me if you hear me with that, okay? Because I want to move on to some other solutions, right? Give me a thumbs up or heart. Let me know we can go on, or give me some feedback here. And I know we have a bit of a delay. Gosh, I've gotten so hot. Alrighty. So, okay. Here's what I have set up here. And I'm going to go through these pretty quickly, right? But it's all spelled out here in my book, so you can follow along with me there. But I have 4 quick tips to help you create a win-win situation when something like this happens, right? When you don't reach the goal. Because in many instances, when you don't reach the goal, sometimes other people have a contribution to that. There was an expectation around a deadline for them. Maybe there was some information you needed from them. Maybe you needed a question, to ask them a question, and they were supposed to be available at a certain time. Listen, all of that can happen because we don't get to these points alone. We don't get to these areas in our life by ourselves, right? We have other people with us along the journey. And sometimes their failure to do something will result in us not reaching our goal. So we'll harbor anger, right? And remember when I told you about blaming? We won't only blame ourselves, we'll blame other people, right? But we have to create a win-win solution because, again, life happens. And if we understand that we aren't superhuman and and don't transcend error or mistakes, then that is true for the next person as well. So we want to create win-win solutions. The first thing it is that I advise here is to make a decision that it's okay. Now, this is a very, very simple and basic solution, but it is, solution, but it is something that you have to start off with, your mindset. This is what I teach around. So will you please do me a favor and write in the comments, number 1, make a decision that it's okay. Please do that for me. Don't be harsh on yourself. Remember, everyone is prone to a mistake, right? Don't make a decision that it's okay. Number 2, make a new agreement with yourself. Make a new agreement with yourself. Okay? Now remember earlier I told you that when these things happen, when we don't reach the goal, so instead of getting angry and things like that, we have to look at it as an opportunity. There's something that we can learn out of this, right? What did you learn from your last mistake? Actually, I want to ask you that, and I want some feedback from you. The last goal it is that you didn't reach, right? Or the last mistake that was made by you. Tell me, what is it that you learned out of that? What is it that you learned from that? Because that is the type of information that will carry you forward. Those are the type of tools you need when you come up against these problems that you're having at home, say with the spouse, say with the significant other, with your children, in starting a business. You are going to run into this through every single thread of your life. What is it that you learned in your last opportunity or mistake, right? But you have to make a new agreement with yourself. When you make this new agreement with yourself, so now you can no longer reach the goal on this date, or you no longer want this one thing, and you create a new thing, making that agreement. When you make that agreement, take into consideration everything it is that you've learned from that last shortcoming or so-called shortcoming. Okay? Number 3, apologize. And I want to read a little bit more of this here. It says, acknowledge whomever was directly involved with the outcome of your goal completion. It's important to recognize your error. So now what that simply says is, just as other people are prone to so-called fall short, so are you. We established that in the beginning. So in areas where you fell short and other people are involved, apologize. It is so hugely important that we take responsibility, and we don't try to point fingers at other people as the reason that the mistake was made. We're not looking to blame other people for why we didn't do or why we didn't have or don't have what it is that we said that we were going to have. We simply own, take responsibility, make the apology, and move on. And I want to add a post cursor to that, if you will. When you do that, you don't allow other people to hold you hostage to how they feel about the error that you made. It is nobody, you can't control anyone. But you can control how you choose to react and what you choose to involve yourself with. Of course, sometimes people's feelings get hurt when this happens because not everybody has all these great tools we're talking about, right? Releasing the guilt, letting it go, deciding it's okay. Not everyone is at that point. And to be honest, you haven't always been at that point. Would that be accurate? Because I haven't always been at this point. But I don't have any time to turn around and wave my finger at someone and tell them they should be at that point. I get to choose, and I am empowered enough to know what it is that I can involve myself in and what it is that I can extract myself from. So apologize, and then don't allow yourself to be held hostage by anyone else's anger around what it is that they think you should have done. Right? Who is that has rejoined me? Gosh, I'm freezing up here. Let me see. Sorry for those of you who are live. Yes. Okay. Alrighty. And this next one here and the last one, it is simply to set a new expectation with all parties involved. So now that the apology has been made, oh, that's you. Now that the apology has been made and you understand that, hey, it is okay, things happen, you've released yourself from any guilt feeling around that, you've made the new agreement with yourself. It is just simply time to set a new expectation with all parties involved, right? Because at first, right before this, or the second thing it is that I mentioned here is we made the new agreement with ourselves. Once we made the new agreement with ourselves and what it is that we learned from our last mistake or from whatever it is that happened before this, we are now ready to tell anybody else that this will involve what the new agreement is and what the new expectation is. Because again, we can't do this alone. It truly takes a village. And I don't care if you don't have any family around you. It doesn't matter that you don't have a lot of friends or things like that. There are some people involved in your life that are contributing towards your success, whether you know it or not. Whether you know it or not, I don't care if that's the school your children go to. I don't care if that's the job it is that you're working at. I don't care if that is a coworker at this job. I don't care if that is an online person, right? Because we have made a lot of connections online, and many people have built bonds by meeting people online. When we are getting questions answered, when we receive constructive criticism, when we are given information about something that we otherwise do not know, they are contributing towards our success, and it shouldn't be discounted. And if what you need to do next to reach your goal involves them, make a new agreement with them. Give them the same courtesy it is that you would want. I'm telling you, this will help you emotionally. This will help you physiologically, the way it is that we spoke about earlier. These are all of the things that can contribute positively to your success. Alrighty? So do we have any questions or feedback on anything it is that I've said? I am excited. I was reading through this again today as you all are typing, because I see that there is an absolute delay here. But as I was reading through this book, I was really very grateful that I wrote these things down, because it has helped me, you all, and I know you all see me here when I am broadcasting many times in my workout gear. I'm in my workout gear because I'm going to work out. Either I have just come from working out or I'm going to work out, because I understand that being more than their mother is a discipline. I was once almost 300 pounds. I was once depressed, right? I was once what I considered to be not a great mom. I now consider myself a great mom. I am no longer depressed. I have lost 100 pounds. And I did that really by living these principles it is that I put in this book. I have started my business. I am now a speaker. I get to travel doing what it is that I love. I am an author, right? And I know that so many women it is that I reach, they have these same type of desires, or they have goals even bigger than what it is that I'm doing, or that what any of us on here are doing. And what I know is that so often, and when I'm coaching people or they're in my mentoring program, what I find the most recurring issue that I find with the people it is who even want to come in my mentoring program is that they don't have the infrastructure it is that they need in order to start, create, and maintain a viable business and really the life of their dreams. Because usually when we become a mom, we want to be the best mom we can. That is the dream that we hold for ourselves and even for our children. We want to be the best we can for them. When we start a business, when we go into any endeavor, we want to be successful at it and hit the mark financially, whatever that looks like, socially, the impact we want to make there, whatever it is that that looks like, emotionally, right? Whatever it is that that looks like. Thanks, April, I see you. Whatever it is that that looks like for us. And all of that is a dream, right? All of that is a dream, and that is the life of your dreams it is that I always speak of. But so often we think it's a marketing thing. We think it's a software that we need. We think it's a certain platform it is that we need. And while all of those things have its place, we first have to have the infrastructure of ourselves, of our lives, then our businesses together in order for it to maintain. Because we don't want to get in and get out. We don't want to be way up this day and way down that day. Right? Of course, if it happens, we now know what it is that we can do. Hey, Joy, thanks for joining. We now know what we can do, but some of that can be eliminated, cut down, and expedited if we had these tools in place. So I encourage you, if it's something that serves you, head on over to my website, or you can drop your email below. And let's talk. Maybe my SOAR mentoring program is for you, right? Maybe this is something it is that you need in order to take your life and business to the next level. I definitely want you to grab the book and stay along with us. Tag a friend, hit the share button and share this greatly and let other people know about this information it is that we're getting. So I thank you so much for joining me. It does not look like we have any questions here. I appreciate you taking your time and showing up right here each and every Monday, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, for this guided study on my book and getting more information for how to live the life of your dreams. So I will see you all next time. Thanks again for joining me. And until we see each other again, remember, it's time to move beyond everyone else's expectations of who you ought to be and become the woman you thought that you could be. Bye. Let's see. Bridget's here. You said, can you show the book again? Absolutely. There it is. That's me and my 3. You see it, Bridges? Awesome. Okay, looks like you got it. You're very welcome. And the link is also in the caption of this video. So if you choose, yes, that's the bops. Those are my 3 bops, yes. So if you choose to get it there, I send you a copy signed. So that's pretty exciting. So I hope to see you all here next time. You all have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.